Welcome back, everyone, to Vets Chatting with Granny Lisa. We're here with Stephen Cochran. How you doing, Stephen? Thank you so
I'm
much
good.
for this.
I'm so glad you
Oh,
came
thanks,
back
Peggy.
with all these technical difficulties, but hopefully we'll get the gangs coming back in once they see us live and get because we were at like such a great spot when all of a sudden it just went kapoots
I won't
and
mention any more letter services during this.
yeah.
FBI, CIA,
Yeah,
NSA. I'll
take
say
that,
it for you,
got it,
bud.
Jackson.
It's on
Look
me.
at it.
It's on
Jackson got
me.
it.
Yeah, it was just crazy, but I appreciate you coming back on. And you said you had another song you were going to share with us?
Yeah, actually, Corporal Jackson was talking about. Thanks, man, for listening to the discography today. I appreciate it. This is one of my favorite songs. I'm glad you said it. I have got, we started putting together this soundtrack, and so I've been focused on it. Myself, Michael Hamilton, we produced it and did everything on it. So I've been focused on those tracks. But this song that you asked me to play, I'm glad you did, man. I wrote it one night because I was on a bus, and I don't sleep well at night like most veterans do. Obviously, it's one of the reasons why I use what I use to help me
You
sleep.
sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly right. So I was watching, I don't know, one of the CNN, Fox or somebody, but they had a veteran on that they were talking to, and they called him an American hero. And of course, we all have trouble with the word hero. I feel like we all feel like that word's reserved for those who didn't come home. But he had a different response I hadn't heard, and he said, you call me a hero and you talk about veterans being heroes, but when you look at any subcategory, what subcategory loses more than American veterans do? We have the highest divorce rates, we have the highest suicide rates, we're homeless, we're losing our houses. There's so much that we go and fight for that we feel like we're promised when we come home that we're not. And he said, I don't feel like an American hero. I feel like an American loser. And I was like, man, I want to figure out how to write that. And, at first when I of course, when you put out as a veteran, you put out a title like American Loser, you're going to get some pushback on it. And so I try to, I'm glad, Jackson, you said to play this because I do try to play it as much as I can just so people can understand the meaning behind it and realize I'm not calling any veteran a loser, but we do lose more than probably anybody else as far as the subcategory goes. We're the only subcategory that's not divided by race, political agendas. We are who we are because we serve together. We're brothers and
Mm-hmm.
sisters till we leave this world. And so we've got to have each other's backs because nobody else is going to. And that's what this song is about. And so, yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me stick around and play it for you. And thanks again,
Brother,
Corporal
we
Jackson, for it.
appreciate the fact that you stuck around. Now you speak your truth through your
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
words
Oh,
and your
man.
music. That's all we ask. You tell
Mm-hmm.
your truth. That's it.
Well, I appreciate it. It's called American Loser. So it's, well, I'm no hero. Ain't for anyone to see. Took my chances. And they wound up being me. You see, I've been playing game. Can't always win. But in the end, yeah, I've lost friends. Few good girls along the way. Sometimes lose my mind. Trying to forget yesterday. I've been a boozer, pill abuser, an American loser. But it's not over. I'm still fighting every day, y'all, to get some closure. The bridges burned along the way. There are times I still can't believe how much I've lost and all it's cost. See, I've lost friends, a few good girls along the way, and I sometimes lose my mind trying to forget yesterday. I've been a boozer, a pill abuser, an American loser. Some days my bottle's half empty, or is it half full? Yeah, I can fool myself, but I can't fool all of you. I've lost some good friends, I found a girl who finally stayed. Yeah, I still lose my mind, trying to forget everything. I've been a boozer, a VA pill user. I fought to be this loser, an American loser, an American loser.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I totally
you.
get that, and I think there's a lot of veterans that can relate to that. And I am so emotional. I mean, just listening to your story and how you've put it all to music to touch other veterans' lives and to let them know that they're not alone, that there are others that have walked in the same shoes, experienced maybe not exactly the same things, but in the same kind of problems and the, the roads that you have to jump to get where you are is sometimes very impossible to do. So I do appreciate the fact that you are using your gift to touch others, because I believe that everyone on earth, every person, every veteran has a purpose. And if you can find that purpose and share that, then you are living the ultimate life.
No,
And
I completely agree. Yeah.
and so the key is finding that purpose. And so sharing things like that can encourage people to go, oh, you know what? I write poetry. Or, you know what? I can write a song. I have something, I have a message. And so they can start making steps forward. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Now, I know that we've gone into the second hour. And so I do want to ask if you would like to continue to stay throughout our show, because we have a little bit of fun stuff that's going to happen. At least I think it's fun.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you.
Don't worry,
Okay.
Double Dog. It'll keep
Awesome.
you entertained, I promise.
Good to go. Good to go.
And so we're going to go ahead and ask Mike to bring up some photos, and then we're all going to just kind of chime in and see what we think about them. And
All right,
if
you
we've
were second
ever
LAR, right?
experienced-
Yes.
Yeah, good Lejeune Marine there.
Okay.
This right here, you
You know.
know this real well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't. As you said, I was with LAR. We didn't, they called us lazy ass recon and lost and the R word. So I didn't hump shit. I rode in the back of an LAV, as in the lazy ass recon. You know what I'm saying?
He
They
actually
drove
admitted
me.
it.
Yeah, I didn't hump shit. I'm not a lineman. I don't try to say I'm from a line unit. I was attached to 1-6, and that's as close as I came, and I'm proud of that.
I was on the line for OIF when we crossed the berms with 3rd CID, Task Force Tarawa. So
yeah, okay. So we were in the same area. We were in the same. I was with RCT1. Actually, we were out on the other side of Nasiriyah, and I remember hearing on the radio that Task Force Tarawa, they attacked first tanks. I think you guys were shooting at each other. And they were like, because we didn't know you guys were coming in. And nobody told us that Tara was coming. You just like, hey, motherfuckers, we're here. And then they were like,
the guys we had were second tank.
Yeah.
But you had first LAR, I think, or second. And they were like,
yep.
And all we heard on the radio was first LAR is attacking second tanks. And then we were like, oh shit, that ain't going to work out good for first LAR.
I floated over with those boys. They were on the same ship.
Yeah. So we were right in the same area of right there on the other side of Nasiriyah. I was in the Battle of the Coil, which is right after the Nasiriyah. We had pulled Charlie Company into our coil, which in LAR, a coil is just where LAVs sit in a big circle. and then we put who's injured in the middle.
You circle
gotta
the
think-
wagons.
Yeah, it's it's a circle of LAV 25s, and we also had these things attached to us then from first LAR or maybe third LAR that was called LAV ADs, and they were air defense, and they had, instead of 125 millimeter cannon, they had 6 of them, like a Gatling gun, and then they had Stinger missiles. I saw this dude wore Hawaiian shorts the entire war. He never came out of the cockpit because it was set up like it would just traverse around, and he would just say wild shit like sniper on the second deck, permission to fire 100-round burst of 25 millimeter. And they're like, no, there's never a reason to fire 125. And so he would get down to like 60, and then he wouldn't call for fire anymore. He would just shoot like 60 25 millimeter rounds and then come back on. You'd hear second deck sniper has been neutralized. And they'd be like, yeah, because there's not a fucking second deck anymore. The whole thing's gone. So, yeah.
Been there,
But
done
it-
that. I was
Oh, my
I was
gosh.
calm. So
Oh,
I
hell yeah.
heard all of this happening in Alcoot when we were at the
Dude,
airfield.
talk about calm. They really screwed my ass on that one too. So I'm a new guy, but somehow my command, we still don't know how this happened. I signed some papers at the recruiter's office because I'd never done drugs or anything like that. I played college. I was a college athlete. I played lacrosse for Western Kentucky University. So I was a pretty straight-laced guy, and I don't know if he thought, man, I can just get him in to every like special program, clearance and all this. So I had some weird, crazy clearance, and I get called into my colonel's office as a lance corporal before we ever went to invade Iraq. We hadn't left country. I was fresh out of boot camp, and my colonel's like, what did you do before the Marine Corps? And I was like, I played lacrosse at Western Kentucky University. And he was like, because we're trying to figure out how you have a higher clearance than most of us. And I was like, I'm trying to figure that out too. Never even knew that. I didn't find out till after the war that they'd called like 6th grade teachers and talked to my teachers and stuff. I don't know what kind of crazy clearance, but what they ended up doing was they gave me this thing called the CYZ-10, the Crazy 10. Yep. I had no comm background. I have never done comm in my life. I had to go to comm school to learn, because what the CYZ-10 is it's a little black box, and it has all of the crypto for all of our radios.
It's the crypto key.
So you have to plug it into your radio, type in the code, and that's how you keep crypto moving so that they can't intercept our conversations. That's supposed to be done by a comm guy. I'm not a comm guy, but they gave me a little team and everything. We had to run around plugging in codes while we're getting fired at. And I'm just like, this ain't any kind of bullshit that I signed up for. I don't know. There's pictures of me wearing, because my colonel, he was like, you lose this black box and me and everyone under me is
They
getting
literally
fired.
made us put it in our fucking skivvy underneath our fucking
I had to sleep with it. I had to
our
sleep with it
blouse,
every night.
and then have our flak over top of it. It had to be against your skin.
Yep.
Every
picture you see me in Iraq, you see this little black box
here in your chest.
Yeah. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Especially we were getting shot at by RPGs, and there was one that had shot into our lieutenant's tire and didn't go off. It just hit the run flat. So it was stuck in there. And they're trying to send us out to go plug in crypto while all this is going on. And I was like, this ain't the bullshit I signed up for. But
you got a job and you got to get it done.
it was my bullshit nonetheless. It was still my bullshit. So. Yeah, I didn't do that in Afghanistan.
Well, it's your bullshit now. It's your bullshit
not
now.
anymore. I moved on up to team leader by Afghanistan. I was like, that's somebody else's bullshit. It's like, but
let the Lance Corporal go do it. The 3-year that's been in forever.
Yeah, we had one of those too, man. We had a few guys like that. When I first got to LAR, obviously it was peacetime before I'd gotten there, and so most of the guys were stop lost.
Okay, so we got here after careful consideration. This is now my ideal retirement home. I don't know about you guys, but I was in the end era of when this was very popular of being a retirement home. I don't know. I hear that there's a lot of big shots that are actually doing this in our government.
What do they know that we don't?
Exactly. Oh,
They know
okay.
that silly people have codes to nuclear weapons. That's what they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know that people that we elect and people that are elected of other governments are fucking idiots. That's what they
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. I don't know about you, but we got to have our coffee. I learned that. Now here's our big one. This is our big controversy here
Ooh,
in
this one's gonna
the
start a fight.
studio.
3.
Okay.
4.
Peggy.
You know I'm allergic to mammal and I can't have bacon anymore, but when I could, it would be 3.
Okay. And is it me? Mine's 5 and 6.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like a crunchy because it melts in your mouth.
Bacon.
Okay,
I
so
lost everybody.
did you lose everybody?
I'm
Are you-
back.
Yeah, you're
All
back.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
So now here comes the other controversy:
let's see.
frying it in a pan or baking it in the oven.
So I'm gonna go weird on this one. My dad taught me this. My dad was a cook in the Army. So all the things that they teach is to make it go longer and make more of it. And he said one of the things that they would do is they would take the bacon, they would roll it in flour, that way it wouldn't shrink, and they could cut it up. So if you take it and you roll it in flour before you fry it, it won't shrink up. So sometimes that's what I do. I roll it. So it's like chicken covered bacon because the South, that's why.
Now you got me curious.
Chicken fried bacon.
Now I got to try that.
It's good. And after you do, I mean, you probably gain about 10 pounds, but you not want to eat it any other way after that.
Man,
Chicken fried bacon.
Is that good on a biscuit?
Everything's good on a biscuit, man.
Anything is good on a damn biscuit. You had
You know what
bacon,
I'm saying?
you had sausage, you had ham.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the hell it's called. If there's meat on a biscuit, it's good.
Well, that was before my mom passed. That was one of the things Hallmark wanted. They didn't understand because they were like, so she was raised in Michigan and Kentucky and then lived in Tennessee. What does that sound like? And I was like, a lot of y'alls, you guys, pop, and weird sayings mixed together because it's pretty much how we speak. So yeah, we got everything from Michigan down to Kentucky. So yeah, chicken fried bacon. Try that.
Now, how Michigan were you? Because I grew up in upstate New York. Now, if we have to go to that Canadian half-ass French thing,
yeah, no,
we're not going to do that on audio. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. How Michigan was she?
So she graduated high school there, but she didn't go. She moved there when she was 11 or 12. So she went to school in Kentucky, and then she moved to Michigan. My grandpa went to work for GM. So she pretty much down the middle. Like I said, she would say y'all and fixing to, but she also said pop and you guys, and she kept a lot of her Michigan roots. My grandmother, like I said, we still have the house there, so we go back. My grandmother still lived there, so she goes back to the same house she grew up in. That's where my kids' bedroom is my mom's bedroom, which is my bedroom in the same house that my grandparents have owned for 80 years.
Wow.
So,
That's
it's
cool.
pretty awesome. Yeah, I like it.
Now, is this not totally? I still do this. I mean,
Well, I was going to ask, Granny, are you a button presser?
I am like, if I see something, it's horrible. I hate going to museums unless you can actually touch items.
I'll tell you why. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I
Granny.
can't do it. I just have to touch it. Yes.
I'll tell you why this cartoon is incorrect. What I see. So they've got it portrayed as a PFC, and that's a Marine Corps uniform. So a PFC is not pressing buttons. He's scared to death still. He just, unless he's been busted down. I don't know if he's got any. Now, if he's been busted down, that's probably the reason why he is a PFC.
He has not been ordered to press that fucking button. He will not press the button until ordered to do so.
A PFC right off the island's not touching anything. He's barely touching himself. He's scared to death. Right?
Yeah.
He's not breathing.
Well, that's a good insight. All right. Well, we're done with these.
All right.
I have.
May I ask, Stephen?
Yeah.
Were you Island or Hollywood?
Oh, I'm a Paris Island Marine.
There you go.
I'm a real Marine. I'm just kidding. I don't want to piss anybody off.
No. We start fights around here. Okay, that's what we do. I was an Island Marine myself.
Yeah, one of my best friends, Travis McVeigh, he owns Heroes Vodka, which is another great guy. I'd love for you guys to have on sometime. Travis is a huge inspirational story, and I've been with him since he founded and started Heroes. This is actually another company that he helped represent, which is ran by two Marines, Joe Belly and a Marine out in Arizona. Actually, I don't know, Corporal Jackson, you need to check out. This is from your area, Tequila Corrido, right there in Arizona. A Marine.
I believe they're right downtown. I do believe I actually know where their brewery is.
Awesome. Yeah, they've got a great brewmaster. She's like one of the most sought after in tequila. No preservatives in this tequila. Same thing with Heroes Vodka, which if you guys like Buffalo Trace whiskey, Heroes is going to be rebranded. Heroes Vodka is actually produced by Buffalo Trace. Oh. So Travis, United States Marine who guarded the president, great guy, but he's from Hollywood. So we always joke about whether he's really a Marine or not.
Oh, cool. All right, Peggy, do you have our jokes ready?
All righty. You have several jokes. You want me to start and go down the list?
Oh, sure. Whatever way
you
you
throw
want.
whatever the fuck you got at us. We're ready to fucking chuckle. You make
I'm gonna
us
start
laugh.
with my favorite one, Granny. What is a soldier's least favorite month?
Least favorite month? December?
March. What?
Oh gosh, that's so bad. Okay, that was cadence. Yes.
What do you call someone who joined the military out of spite?
Vengeful?
A petty officer.
Oh, shut
So, why is the United States Air Force the most patriotic military branch? They're USAF.
Oh.
What's the difference between a Special Forces member of the Navy and an otter? You don't know? One's a seal, the other's an otter.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Oh my fucking God. I just want to yawn at that one.
What do hungry Marines eat?
Bacon?
Ass from what on the internet, they're always talking about eating ass. Is what they're always talking about now. Young Marines are gross.
Sub sandwiches. I always thought it was crowns, personally, but you're the one.
We do some stupid shit, don't we, Steve?
Young Marines are weird.
Oh, and fucking cray. They fucking stupid.
Yeah.
What do you call a weapon which is fully loaded with ammunition? You call it a rifle. Get it? Rifle. Anyway, what do seals
fall
backwards off the boats?
Why do they fall backwards?
Yes. Why do they fall backwards off the boats?
To catch them.
Yeah, I don't know.
If they fell forward, they'd still be in the boats, Granny. They're standing with their back to the water. That's all the jokes I got for you this evening, sister.
Oh, that's so funny. Well,
I would like to mention that if anybody watching would like to be our guest, if you look below us, we have the link to vetscomingclean.com. Like to contact us. Go on there and select which show you'd like to come on and fill out the information, and we'll see about getting you in our schedule.
Also, if you have good jokes, actually good jokes, that you would like to submit or stories, please do so too, because obviously I'm the joke getter and I guess they weren't so
all right,
funny.
I got one for you, Steve.
I got a joke.
Oh,
I got one.
You got it. It's yours. Go.
Oh, okay. How bad can I go? It's a military joke.
Yep.
This is a military show, so go for it.
Okay. All right. So they wanted to find out who the greatest of the special operations units were. So they called in Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Marine Force Recon, and Air Force Pararescue. And so they set it up before they had them come in. They said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 9mm, we're going to load it with blanks, we're going to put it in the room, and we've got this beautiful blonde woman that's going to sit in there, but we're going to instruct these operators when they come in at what their mission details are. And so the first one they call in is Air Force Pararescue, and they said, listen, we've got a loaded 9mm in the next room. There's a terrorist in there. Terrorist operative, what you're going to do is you're going to go in, you're going to execute her, and you're going to come out, unload, show clear. Air Force guy goes in. He's in there for a little bit long, just a little bit of time. He comes out. He says, "Listen, it's not the enemy I've been really taught to take out. I can't do this mission at this time." He unloads, shows clear, leaves. Next, they call in. Army Ranger goes in. He's in there a little bit longer. He comes out. He says, "Look, this just isn't something I was trained to do." Unloads, shows clear, leaves. Navy SEAL goes in. He's in there for a little bit. They hear the round go off. He comes out and he says, "Look, I got to apologize. I, shot the round into the ceiling. It's just not something I can do. It's a beautiful woman. I can't do this." He unloads, shows clears, leaves. Well, the next up, they got this old crusty gunnery, Vietnam veteran gunnery sergeant, Force Recon. They send him in there. He's in there for about 5 seconds. They hear the weapon go off. Then they don't hear anything. Then they hear like a breaking sound, a bunch of screams. The door flies open. The gunny comes out. He's covered in blood. He goes, "Hey, you fucking believe it? Somebody put a blank in this weapon." So I ripped a table leg off and beat her to death with it.
Oh
Oh, damn. They're told to do it
Now,
well.
everybody, if you look below, you'll see the links for therapy that you.
All right. How do you drown an Army soldier?
I don't know.
Put a scratch and sniff sticker at the bottom of the testing pool.
Oh my God.
That's really good. That's good.
That's bad.
good.
That's a bad one.
Hey, hey, come on. We fight. Come on.
Yeah.
But hey,
Oh.
we fight each other, but nobody can fight us.
Yeah,
Truth.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is.
And if anybody
true.
fucks with you, everybody here knows, and anybody watching knows.
Right.
You fuck with one of us, you fuck with all of us.
All of us.
That is so true.
Yep.
That is so true. Okay, I have a question. What is the funniest thing that you ever experienced during well, when you go through, my mind just went blank.
During
When you go-
deployments or during training?
No, during training. Not when you go through the first part. What is that called?
Basic.
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 Boot
Thank
camp.
you. Boot camp. What is
I-
the funniest story?
I got this one first, but trust me.
All
okay.
right.
I had a Stephen, you'll understand. Somebody that's listening might understand. We had a stacked platoon. My platoon was stacked. We had 4, 3, and a senior. Right? So we had a senior. We had a heavy. We had a fucking rifle, and then we had a utilitarian. Right? He just did whatever the fuck. And he was like 4'5". He was tiny. He was a fucking Oompa Loompa. But the big motherfucker, I'll remember his name to the day I fucking die because of what happened. Staff Sergeant Hargrove. That motherfucker. We're going out for series drill. Right? We had every fucking trophy except for in boot camp. He had a much deeper voice than mine. And I'm not even deep, but he was like hell is coming out of his fucking vocal cords deep, right? He gets pissed off with us one day. We're just smacking fucking, handguards on our fucking forearms, and he's not fucking happy with it, right? He breaks his fucking cover. His vocal cover, not his smoking. He breaks his vocal. The motherfucker is Mike Tyson.
Wow.
I swear to fucking God, 96 fucking Marines were in one fucking bay, and every fucking one of them went. Everybody fucking laughed at him. He looked at there were 2 DIs, our junior, he was a junior sergeant, and the staff sergeant. They were both going back, doing their back and forth while we were practicing drill. And he gets pissed off as he's heading towards the fucking DI hut. I don't remember the exact words he said, but it was like, "Fuck it, they're not worth it," or something. And he was fucking Mike Tyson. We all lost our fucking shit. Then all 4 of our DIs showed the fuck up an hour later. and smoked us until about 10 o'clock at night.
Bug Squad. Yep.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I don't remember where we were going. We did a fucking base tour of PI. We hit every fucking sand trap on the fucking base.
Oh man.
From first, second, third, fourth, the range, the fucking obstacle course, every fucking sand pit on base, we fucking hit. And guess what? None of us cared. We fucking loved it.
I miss Paris Island. That's the weirdest thing I've probably ever said. But yeah, Paris Island was fun. I mean, it wasn't fun at the time. There was obviously, you miss your family and stuff like that. But if you could, and the thing is that I feel like that once you kind of saw behind the curtain and you realize like, they're not going to kill me, you know what I'm saying? Then it became fun. You're just with your buddies doing cool shit that you used to do. I mean, like you're swimming, you're going to go hit each other with pugil sticks. And so, yeah.
So what was your funny thing that you experienced in basic?
So I remember. I was 1st Battalion, and my barracks would look towards the bay, where you could see almost like, I guess it wasn't Hilton Head, but it was right there in Beaufort, South Carolina. And there's a marina where all these boats would sail out of. You'd see sailboats and all this stuff, and we'd always be cleaning or getting smoked or something. And it seemed like every time I was getting smoked the worst, I would be looking out this window, watching those sailboats come out of that harbor. And see, I'd had a developmental deal before I joined the Marine Corps. I had signed a developmental deal in music. And so for my career, it was already going in the direction that I wanted to go in. And then I enlisted in the Marine Corps, and, no contract supersedes a government contract. So I was in the Marine Corps whether I wanted to be or not. And I just remember watching those boats leave that harbor thinking, oh man, what have I done? What have I done with my life? I could be on one of those boats. I could own one of those boats.
Right.
But instead, this dude keeps calling me a pig every day. Made me feel bad about myself. And like you said, they're all like 5'6", 5'7", but those are the meanest some bitches you've ever met in your life. You're like, how did they put so much mean in one little motherfucker?
Did you ever have an Oompa Loompa fucking DI?
No,
and I'm talking, they're smoky, literally couldn't actually hit your fucking back.
Well, I'm not that small. I had a senior that was shorter, but he was a good senior, but he wasn't that small. But there was a couple of them that led other platoons that were, just mean as shit, man. And they were the shortest ones, were always so mean. And I just thought, like, good God, like, why do they put so much asshole in one person that small?
We got lucky. Our whole series, right? Hotel company, second. We got lucky that the DI school on PI was ready to go through their fucking whatever they call it, where they go through and test in a platoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. I'm 6 foot. His fucking Smokey hit me here.
Yeah.
He was a fucking Oompa Loompa.
Aww.
And it
you guys had that good chow. You guys had that
thing in everybody in that platoon, because he was like a little jackrabbit. He all the way up and down the fucking squad bay, and he was quick. Man, was he fucking quick! But he would chicken peck you with his fucking Smokey in the fucking chest. Some guys that were taller than me, he was poking them in the fucking gut. Funniest fucking thing I ever saw is this, and I mean no, racial issues here. Fuck, he was 5 foot, maybe.
Yeah, I think with 4'9" is the cutoff, right?
Yeah, he was right in that Hispanic male, and his accent was the funniest part. You want to fuck with me? You want to fuck with me? Oh my fucking God, I lost it. I literally cracked online. Heels on the fucking line. I fucking lost it. I couldn't do it. because he started chicken pecking me right here.
Yeah, a lot of them should be stand-up comedians, and you know, the stuff that they say, they're trying to get you to break. Just like they're trying not to break, they're trying to get you to break so that they can smoke you. But
Dude,
goodness, some of the stuff they say is just
pay
like,
attention to the DIs, they're breaking while the other DI is smoking you.
I still have scars on the inside of my cheeks where I would suck them in and bite down on my cheeks, so I wouldn't just
bite your lip.
Because when it wasn't you, it was funny as shit. When it was you, it wasn't funny. You're like, everybody, shut up, stop making fun. But like, talking about a memory, this is another good one. Is that they hadn't really learned our names yet. It was first phase, and we were standing on line, and so this one kid had messed up, and they thought his name was Jackson, and it wasn't. And the journalist was like, "Hey, Jackson, go to the pit." And Jackson looks around, and he's like, "Sir, I'm Jackson. That's Rodriguez." And he's like, "Oh shit! All right, Jackson, look at me. Go like this. Hey, Rodriguez, let's go to the pit." And he's like, "Oh, hey, Rodriguez, let's go to the pit." And they like had to go off and skipped away holding hands to the pit, crying. And I'm just sitting here like,
you're doing the
I don't want
fish.
him to call me Johnson. "Hey, Johnson, I'm Cochran. Hey, you and Johnson, take your ass to the pit too." I'm good.
Oh God.
They were
what
comedians.
about you?
Well, since you mentioned breaking people, I'll share the story about my daddy showing up because I was split off. Went in Air Force Air National Guard, and there was time between basic and tech school. So my dad, since they came down for my graduation, already arranged with the base commander to pick me up at 05:30, whatever time it was. And I wasn't out there at the car at the time. He was told by the base commander. So he comes up in the room. "I had a man to speak to the CO in charge right fuck now. Who's fucking in charge right now?" The chief. "Sir, let's go out in the hallway, speak." And chief is talking to him, and you can barely hear the chief out in the hallway. My dad, you can hear full force. "Who the fuck told you to keep my daughter past this time? She was supposed to be out by my car. When I was in, we followed orders, motherfucker." And we're inside, and the instructor's like, "Whose father is that?" I'm like, "Fucking mine." They're like, "No fucking wonder we didn't break you, Smith. He told you we couldn't fucking touch you." I said, "That's exactly right." "Was he military?" "Yes, sir." "What branch?" "Army, Vietnam." "No fucking wonder." I'm like, "Yep, told me you couldn't lay a finger on me." So,
I know there's a website that you, as a veteran, can send letters to recruits in boot camp, right?
Stop.
But you have to put your rank in when you fucking mail it, so that the recruiter or the DIs see that somebody with rank on that top left corner is sending you a fucking letter. Because anytime a DI sees that you are sent mail from a quote unquote military member, they fucking smoked your ass twice as hard.
Oh, I got
you
smoked.
can literally send random fucking nothing to random fucking recruits. Just put your fucking rank on it.
Okay,
and they'll smoke the shit out of them.
I gotta go take Max out.
All right.
Okay, I'm just removing myself. Keep on talking.
I'll tell you, one of the funniest things I saw was when I was in MEPS. So if you remember when they sit there and got you down to the skivvies and they start taking blood and everything from everybody. So I'm in line with all these dudes, man. Everybody's like 6 foot to 7 foot tall, look like gorillas. So I know they're either going infantry, Marines, something. And so they just got through drawing blood. And my buddy in front of me, man, is like a joker. So he pulls his gauze off and that blood squirts. No shit. Half that line fell out on the floor and fainted right then. I'm sitting there thinking, holy shit, man, we're fucked. We're so fucked. It's like, it's just blood,
right,
man.
How many of us used the air injector to get your vaccine?
Oh, dude, they lined us up like cattle and hit me from both sides.
Yeah, same thing.
Yep.
Remember the peanut butter shot?
Oh,
yep.
God.
Oh, no, Craig, I know you didn't. I bet they got smoked hard. Craig says he said they could fix his buddy in Marine Corps boot. Wow,
Yeah.
brother.
So
That's
the worst
quick death.
Yeah, one of the worst ones I saw was somebody took a dildo and wrapped it in Christmas paper and stuck it on there. So the drill instructor's holding it up like, Recruit Johnson, who the fuck sent you mail? And it was like, oh, and then they put one time they sent him one and said, your drill instructor wishes he was a sailor. And that poor kid, I don't even think he made it. I think he rung out before we got done. And he could go home and thank whoever the hell kept sending him mail for fucking his old boot camp experience.
Any photos that came in the mail, the DIs had to look at first. What we had is the DI hut had the hatch and then I had a window, right? On the outside of the window was the moat board, the motivational.
Yeah.
On the inside was all the shit that they fucking confiscated.
Yep.
When we were in, somebody had a
And the only
birthday.
motherfucker that ever got to see it was the fucking the rat did
House
cleaned
mouse.
up the
House
house
mouse,
mouse.
yeah.
Yep. That was the only motherfucker that got to see those photos.
Me and my
But
dad had a system
We
set
did
up
actually
'cause-
have some females that sent things in the mail and put some spicy things on the back of the photo. And
Did Craig hate this motherfucker that you were sitting on? Like, did you want him to die? like
Wow, Greg.
he's like, I didn't tell you that this dude slept with my wife. That's why. Fuck this guy. That's what he said.
or you send a fucking
Jeez,
letter
bro.
to the senior drill instructor and you make it fucking fake and you say that this recruit is, thought to have slept with said fucking general's fucking daughter.
He was my best
my
friend.
fucking God. And make sure it's the
Craig.
general of that base.
Oh shit, man.
Craig,
You want to fuck with the kid. That's the way to do it.
Well,
Craig has
I can-
different parameters for friendship than I do. Craig,
I have no
Black
parameters.
mass.
If you're an
Yeah.
asshole, I like you. If
Yeah.
you're nice, I might not like you. I don't know.
I don't know if you wrap a dildo up in Christmas paper and send it to Paris Island. I don't know if we're gonna have a conversation when I get the fuck home. That's for sure. Especially if it makes me,
though.
especially if it makes
Man.
me ring out of boot camp and I don't get to complete it.
Well, my problem would be no matter if it was me or not, I'd be laughing so damn hard they'd be mashing my ass.
Well, that's what we were all laughing, and we ended up all getting smoked. Just not as bad as
Everybody
we
get
did.
the whole fucking platoon is pushing, doing fucking, dips and everything else. Your dump lockers, fucking Brasso, everything in the fucking squad.
Yeah.
Everything gets cleaned.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Craig, that was the guy I was talking about in the first series. Matt Harder, the Navy SEAL that I wrote and started Stop 22. He actually went to Florida State. He had a full ride scholarship to Florida State and then transferred to Western Kentucky when all of us went there to play. And then we ended up all enlisted in different branches. So one of us went in the Navy, one of us went in the Air Force, one of us went in the Army, and I went in the Marine Corps. So, yeah, man, go FSU, except y'all really didn't get in that football championship thing, did you? Be glad you didn't, because I think Georgia.
God, it fucking sucks. It's all scripted anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say something about Craig. Craig is part of a program that the VA has, and it's No Soldier Dies Alone. And him and some very special volunteers make sure that any of the veterans in the VA at Washington, state of Washington, are never alone while they're getting ready to cross over. And so he does a really outstanding job on making sure that that's
No veteran dies alone. Yeah, that's awesome.
and it's important because
Fantastic work, Greg.
Great
You and
job,
everybody
Greg.
else you
Yeah,
work
man.
with.
And he
That's
has
awesome.
another organization which is totally blank on my mind that he does, but he is a Coast Guard. Don't hold it against him, but he is a Coast Guard, and he was in during the time period where it was a very difficult time for the Coast Guards.
Hey,
And
people don't
so-
realize who was landing the U-boats in World War II. That was the
Coast Guard pilots.
That was Coast Guard that was doing
There
that.
it
So,
is.
like, I never
Hometown
throw. Oh, hometown hero outdoors. Oh, that's cool. I think I've heard of that, Craig. I really do. I think I've. The co-founder of Stop 22, Sam Tate, who I told y'all wrote "If You're Going Through Hell." He also co-founded another organization called Operation Healing Waters. So I think a lot of you may have heard of that. It's fly fishing.
Yep.
And I think they've done some stuff with the outdoor thing there, Craig, that you're talking about. So, hey, man, keep up the good work. You know, you've got a lot of these great large organizations out there, Winter Warrior Project, Semper Fi Fund, that are doing some great work. But really, you know, there's not going to be one organization that's the savior of what we've got going on, especially the epidemic with suicide. It's going to take all of us. Oh, you played. Oh, cool. You with the all rugby. So one of my guys that I served with, Sergeant Brown, was a rugby player for the Marine Corps as well. But yeah, man, keep doing the great work, and all you guys out there running your organizations, keep doing the great things that you're doing.
Yes.
You know, look for other organizations to link with. That's what we're doing with Romans Warrior Foundation. The Global War on Terror wall, which I don't know how many people know about that. It's our moving wall. It's the wall dedicated to the Global War on Terror, which falls under the Romans Warrior Foundation. And this year we're going to be out touring with it. So it's a 110-foot wall that has all the names, all the KIAs from Iraq, Afghanistan, the towers on the backside of the wall. It has the timeline of how the Global War on Terror broke down. You know, like I was talking about Corporal Ron Payne, he's on panel 19 of the wall, and you can stop. You can do the where you the etchings, yeah. And so we travel with Stop 22 with that, which is usually 3 combat singer-songwriters who are singing the songs about, you know, stuff that they did while they were serving, that they've now, you might have heard them on the radio. They might be coming up to be on the radio. But like I said, you know, Chris Turner, Sal Gonzalez, Jonathan Wells, Tyler J., Doc Malachias. There's a whole list of great guys. Micah Howard, Wynn Taylor. These are all guys that we tour with. Yeah, man, exactly. So yeah, these are guys that we tour with that are just amazing singer-songwriters that you're going to be hearing a lot from coming up in the next 5 or 6 years. Scotty Hastings has a song out right now called "How Do You Choose." Scotty, man, his story. Another guy I wish you guys could interview. I think he was shot 10 times in Afghanistan, to the point to where Scotty, when I met him, he can't hold his hand is where it's still like this, where he can't hold a guitar pick. So he was gluing a guitar pick to his thumb so that he could play. And so they've just designed a pick just for him now, just that he can put it on so he can play. So yeah, please check out Scotty Hastings, Sal Gonzalez, Chris Turner, Tyler J. All these guys are just great veteran, artists. Malik, if you like rock, look up Shannon Book or Malachi. Shannon Book, you guys may have known from a band called a band called Vetted back in the day. Shannon's a great guy. Actually, he was just here in Nashville with Hero Stock. Hero Stock, the guys, Jason Steiner and those guys.
Yeah, he had it on his Facebook.
Yeah, Doc Malachias, who I was telling you guys, is one of the artists who plays with, and Scotty and Shannon are all Stop 22 guys. But we had a thing down in Columbia, Tennessee, and Jason Steiner and the Wheels for Warriors guys, they came all down, and we got to hang out, and we've known of each other or around the community for a long time. But that's what I talk about, us linking all these shields. We've got Vet Life and Romans Warrior Foundation, the Global War on Terror Wall, Stop 22, Hero Stock, Wheels for Warriors, just all these great organizations that we're putting together. Heroes Media Group and Warfighter Hemp and all these different little groups that we put together where you do one thing really well. And so you don't have to concentrate on all this bigger picture. When somebody comes to us and says, hey man, I got this dog that was prior service that I would like for it to be retired well and to be taken care of. We say, hey, we got an organization. Operation K9 Hero is a great organization that we work with. Jason Johnson. Those guys were just featured on Good Morning America, and he's actually the title sponsor of our upcoming label launch in February 29th. So we can pass them off to Jason. He can work with them. Or if they come to us and say, hey, I live in the state of Michigan. I don't know what's available to me as a veteran. We can say, hey, we got an organization called Vet Life up there. It's the largest veteran organization. They have an outdoor concert called Vet Fest. Pass them off to Josh Parrish with Vet Life. And so we've got this great group of organizations that we're working with, from Creative Vets to Warrior Rounds, just these great group of individuals. Yeah.
That's what
we all got to. That's what like I said earlier, we've got to take care of each other because nobody else is going to take care of us the following other. That's all awesome, man. Yeah, Craig, send all those, man, our way if you don't mind. I would love to link up with these organizations you're putting out there.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
that's the thing is that's what I started. That's chatting with Granny Lisa is because I found out that there's all these veteran groups that are out there helping, and so I wanted to learn about them. I wanted to hear their stories. I wanted to be able to, pass it on to the internet like anybody else. And there is no kind of global
Get it, Craig?
what do you call it? Where they're centralized and
Yeah.
everybody can kind of go, oh, and so like
A global
Peggy and I,
repository for groups that help veterans is something
right?
that should be put
There's
together.
thousands
But
of
the
them
fact
that we
that
don't work
they
together.
come and go so quickly
Right.
makes something like an app or a website difficult
Mm-hmm.
because unless they've been vetted for you're probably talking 5 to 10 years minimum, they come and go.
Mm-hmm. And it is all who you
Their
know.
non-for-profit goes away, they lose it, they don't pay for it, they don't keep it up. They happen all the time. And we have, let's be honest, we're veterans, we can be honest about this. There have been veteran groups, and I say it very lightly, that have fucked veterans.
Wounded Warrior Project. I just said it, and I'll say it. We can talk about that. But my buddy Sal Gonzalez is their national spokesman right now. He'll be the first one to say that their past isn't great. I think, from what I've seen, that they've turned it around. We do need better representation in DC. And I'll even talk about that too, not to get political, but like
we try to stay away from politics, but yes, we do have some representatives right now that are helping or trying to help us.
Eli Crane and I did some stuff together with he's a newly elected senator, and there's some different veterans that are getting elected. And from what I've heard, not from Eli, but from different veterans that are working in politics, is the same kind of thing that you realize that we have to. That's why I said we have to start at our local level, because the snakes get so deep in Washington that even when you get there as a junior senator or congressman, the first thing they tell you is if you want to come back, you'll play by the rules. Because what they'll do is, and this is how fucked up it really is, what they'll do is if you cause any waves as a junior politician in D.C., your party, if you're a Republican or if you're a Democrat, the next time you run will put money into your opponent, because they would rather have, if you're a Republican, they'd rather have a Democrat that plays by the rules than a Republican who doesn't. And if they're a Democrat, they'd rather have a Republican that plays by the rules than a Republican who doesn't. So it's all bullshit. You can't there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, exactly. There's no way for you to get a real shot at making a change, because they're not going to let it happen. If we start electing guys at the lower levels and our local community and then grow them there, I think that's the shot we've got. And that's for no matter what you call yourself, a Democrat, Republican, or whatever. Right. I just want to be an American, man.
Let's start something very simple. Veterans for term limits.
Dude,
anybody want to join?
100%.
I'll start it.
I mean, 100%. And that's
I don't mean, Granny, I'm sorry. I don't mean to get into politics. I'm getting outside of our scope.
I don't mind the politics. It's the policies need to be changed. That is that's a positive, but we need to have actual solutions, ideas. We can go back and forth on parties and everything else. We know that it's crooked in our government. We know that it's a money game. I mean, we know all of these things, but we have to also have some real solutions on how to make those changes. And that's what I would like to talk about is, like you said, starting at our local governments and, term limits, those kinds of things.
What is
that's what I like.
Not to delve anything deep, but what is the longest serving congressman, woman, senator right now?
Right now,
longest serving. How many years?
Well, Feinstein just passed away, right? So she would have been up there.
What's her name is gone, isn't she?
Maxine Waters is still there, I believe. And then
I know that
up there. Was his
she's
Thurman?
That 30-something years.
Says
Strom
longest.
Thurmond was there till he was like 94 years old.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way a 94-year-old.
No.
Like, come on, y'all. Like,
I'm only
holy
41. After I hit 50, I'm saying fuck the world that I'm just disappearing into the woods.
yeah, no, I got an island in Michigan by 50 that I'll be living. So,
Well, there's enough
like,
islands up there. You can go buy one, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Peggy, what did you find out?
The longest serving senators, number 1 served for 51 years, 5 months, and 26 days. Robert C. Byrd from January 59 to June 2010.
Jesus.
Who is the longest one now?
Current serving.
Yeah, currently.
I think it's 32, 35 years somewhere.
42 years, 1 month. Or Mitch McConnell's at 38 years, 1 month, 7 days.
No, that's fucking wrong. 38 and a half fucking 39 years? No, that's wrong. It's wrong. I'm not talking politics. I'm talking it's fucking wrong.
But it's all about money.
Don't fucking serve for 40 years. Get somebody new.
That just shows you who truly runs our country. I mean, if they can put term limits on a president, but they don't put them on our Senate and our Congress, that just shows you who's really behind the curtain.
They put them on local fucking city councils.
Everybody but them.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody but
they
them.
also give themselves
and
raises
judges.
Raises, and they're able to take what was it said? You know, they were talking about if you are a millionaire, if you can become a millionaire as a public servant, you're not a public servant, you're a criminal.
No. Yep.
Right. And that's
because there's no public servants when you're making $117,000 a year that become millionaires unless you're a criminal.
They charge for their time because of their position.
Yeah,
that's the excuse they use. Well, I had a public
BlackRock exactly
this week and 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 this week.
Yeah,
I charged how much per fucking session? Oh, I don't know, $50,000 just to speak for 7 minutes.
Yeah, and where do you go to school to be a politician? When I went to college, I didn't see like politician as one of the things that I could go to school for. So, again,
does it fall under liberal arts?
It falls under idiots. We vote idiots, and then we give them codes to nuclear weapons, and that's why billionaires are building bunkers. That's why. Because they know we're fucking voting idiots in and giving them codes to nuclear weapons.
You brought up the photo. It's on you, Granny. It's on you.
That's why there's some shit under the Denver airport. No, I'm just kidding.
You want to get into the conspiracy theory? We're going to talk later personally. You and me.
You don't want to go there with me. You don't. I'm getting weird in my old age.
I actually do believe all this stuff.
Yeah, no, my oldest son will he sees me getting the weirder the older I get, and we'll get in the car because I listen to different podcasts, and he'll just be like, "Getting pretty weird, Dad. You're getting pretty weird." I said, "So is this world." So
go ahead.
I agree with you.
I can tell you something that's weird. All these conspiracy theories lately have been being proven correct, and that's the scary thing.
In the end, the truth shall be revealed.
Let's not spend a whole hour show on the effects of the vaccine.
I know,
don't even go there.
Let's not get into the fact that it's just higher rates of cancer, higher rates of fucking heart attacks, and everything else. Come on, let's not get into the facts.
So I can tell you firsthand. I lost my mom and grandmother to what they said was COVID, and I can tell you, I was ground zero with it. I was the person that made all of the medical decisions for both of them, and I can tell you how this shit went down. So my mother was taken by ambulance. She had pneumonia and COVID. She was taken there. But I talked to her almost every day. I even had video messages with her. She was having a hard time breathing, but she was on the BPAP sometimes during the day, CPAP sometimes, but she was sitting in her chair beside her bed talking to me. My grandmother was 85 years old, but she walked herself into the hospital. Now, again, talked to her every day while she was on the BPAP. We had conversations. She did have COPD, so we knew it was going to be a little harder on her. And my mother had diabetes, so we knew it was going to be hard from what they were saying. But the shit that went down next is some stuff that you can't even make up. So they call me one day and tell me that my mom, her oxygen levels are down to 96 now and that she has to be put on a ventilator. My mom had said she didn't want to be put on a ventilator. But I'm listening to these doctors and thinking that this is the best thing I can do. And I said, okay, go ahead and put her on the vent. They put her on the vent. The next day they call me and tell me my grandmother, if she's not to take this antibiotic called remdesivir, that she's going to die of COVID. But if they give her remdesivir, that it'll probably shut her kidneys down, but that she'll be okay. They'll put her on dialysis and she'll be all right. So I give the approval for that. They give my grandmother remdesivir. It shut down her kidneys, her heart, and her liver. She turned septic and black. She died immediately. And that nurses even had the audacity to call me and tell me that I was torturing my grandmother by not just pulling the plug on her. And then my mother, they put her on the vent. This is a woman who has pneumonia, who has COVID. They put her on the vent and turned the PEEP, which is the PEP setting. They turned it all the way up and blew her lung out.
Oh,
Now she has pneumonia, she has COVID, and she has one lung blown out. And because they kept her on the vent so long, she ended up getting a respiratory infection. So now she has a disease, COVID, and a lung blown out that she's fighting. And she's still fighting. She stayed 3 weeks fighting. And they called me on my birthday to tell me that my mother was going to die that night. And I said, so my mother's going to die on my birthday. And they said, oh my God, today's your birthday. Oh my God, you just lost your grandmother. You know what? Let's move some medications around and see what we can do. She lived for another month. She didn't die till October 9th. So why the fuck didn't you do that before you called me on my birthday to tell me you were murdering my mother? Because that's what the fuck they did. They murdered my grandmother and they murdered my mother. And people ask, why did they do that? Well, I'll tell you millions of reasons. Because if you've got good insurance, like my mother and my grandmother did, they charge the shit out of their insurance. They charge millions of dollars to their insurance for that. And I'll tell you, for someone, all of us have worked for the federal government. I don't know a time in history when they've paid for shit that they're not involved in. But guess what? They paid for both of their funerals. So if they did that, then what are they saying? They're saying, we fucking did this and we're paying for the funerals so that we can't get caught on the back end when this shit comes out what really fucking happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Well,
what
the
Ground
thing
Zero
is,
looked
doctors
like.
all around the world have been coming out in the last 2 years. And some of them have been arrested. Some have been deleted off the web. They've been blacklisted.
Some of them should be deleted off this planet, as far as I'm concerned. If you're a
But
medical doctor and you swore an oath to a Hippocratic oath that you're going to, just like we all took oaths, we were all willing to die for these people, for these
I shall do
motherfuckers
no
in these
harm.
hospitals that are out here killing our families. We swore an oath to die for those motherfuckers. And then they take our families in these hospitals and kill them for money. Because all doctors are nowadays are just, they're drug dealers. They're drug dealers. They're all taking kickbacks from hydrocodone and all this
go to
bullshit.
the VA
pharma.
and tell me they're not the exact same. That they're
Exactly.
the exact same.
Exactly.
But you have to keep in mind, Stephen, there
Same
are
reason marijuana is a
holistic
substance
out
one.
there are holistic practitioners out there that will make people better.
Right.
I mean, that's the saving grace.
But
And
the
our
insurance
veterans look
doesn't
away from
cover
their
it.
life.
But
I
like,
know.
yeah, but like Granny Lisa, the insurance doesn't cover it. And of course they'll call you a witch doctor and make fun of
Mhm.
Look what they did to Joe Rogan. Look, I mean, if he didn't have the platform that he had and the lawyers that he had, they would have made him out to look crazy like they did everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
even
Poor
went
Steve
as far,
Wormers.
bro, they went as far as to change the filter to make him look yellow when they did the interview with him so that he looked yellow and sick. That's how fucking messed up the media is with this bullshit.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like sorry, I didn't mean to get, but I mean,
No.
like, they killed my family. You got to
Yeah.
think, I went to two different countries to shoot people who didn't do shit to me, but yet I got motherfuckers in hospitals murdering my family that I can't go do the same thing to.
Nope. You
At our
can't.
VA hospitals decommissioning their vets as we
Yeah.
speak.
I live a
They don't
mile
realize it.
from the VA hospital, and we've got, I don't know, is it 3 or 4 now? They have committed suicide in the parking lot a mile from my house because they
Yeah.
can't get help. It's bullshit.
It
Yeah,
is.
we gotta start
I'm
organization.
literally at the hub. I'm at the hub of all of the VA bullshit that happened when we found out.
Yeah.
I'm at Carl T. Hayden in Phoenix.
That was a horrible that was the VA.
Over a
I
decade
was
ago
there.
now.
I was
I
the
was there.
spokesman for VA R&D when that happened, and that was the weirdest thing is I wrote the theme song "Hope" for, and we all know that Veterans Affairs Research and Development is completely separate from
Right.
the VA hospital. I love Veterans R&D. I wouldn't be walking, and a lot of us veterans that are injured wouldn't be walking without the things that they do at research and development. They don't have anything to do with this. And that was the joke, is that I used to have to tell people, like, research and development, I don't want a line at my merch table of disgruntled motherfuckers whose claims didn't get processed, because guess what?
Right.
Mine ain't been processed either. I'm the damn spokesman for R&D. So, but yeah, it was weird, because when we wrote the theme song, Hope, they had me out touring VA hospitals, playing the song, but they wouldn't send me to Phoenix.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Carl T. Hayden, they wiped it
several times, and they wouldn't. They
wiped the fucking board, and I literally mean they wiped the board.
Yeah, I almost died there twice.
Let's get off the. We're pissed at the VA and politics. Let's move on. Come on.
One last thing I will say is that the Murfreesboro and Nashville VA here, we are really blessed. Like I said, I had my surgery, my back surgery was not done by the DOD. I was still owned by the DOD, but it was VA who did my surgery. The Nashville VA attached to Vanderbilt is who did my back surgery. And I go to the Murfreesboro VA currently. And I've never had anything, and I've never heard anything bad from our veterans here from Nashville, Murfreesboro. Of course, we all have those right stories, but from everything that I've pictured here, I've got one of the best doctors and teams that I've ever had, and I love the VA we got here. But yeah, man, there's
it's a pick and choose.
Real shit out there. Yeah,
there is, and that's the problem. Is it's not consistent on the board, and what can we do about that? See, those are the things. It's like, we know these things are happening, but we need real solutions. And I don't see why are we not a part of the VA system? Why are we not in the boardrooms when they're making decisions? Why are we not having representatives in there about our care and our complaints that are being done?
They rely on the big four. See, and that's where, we kind of get shot in the foot, because they've got VFW, AMVETS, American Legion, DAV, that they consider our voice, because they're the congressionally acknowledged top non-for-profit.
Big four.
The problem is, is that they bullshit too. Because what they'll do is they make you feel like you're electing, because they've got the commander and the vice commander, and you as a member get to elect that person. But then they also got the president and the vice president, which are paid positions that you don't get to elect. And that's who, they don't have a term limit. Those commanders are only one term, and then they're done. And they know that. So they're like, all right, we got to deal with this guy for one term, and he's out. But that vice president and that president and the CEO of AMVETS and all that, that's a paid position. They're there just like any other CEO of a company is. And that's who's really making the decisions. That's who's giving the script to the commander when he goes in front of Senate and Congress to talk on our behalf. That's who the script is being given to him. And, there's not going to be any one organization that's going to speak for all veterans. It's bullshit to think that
I think they should have an organization of vets that we elect in each of our own VAs. That's what I'm saying. I love that. Vets in our own VA.
Or how about this? That the Legion, AMVETS, VFW, ALKS.
I say get rid of them.
Anybody? No. They're member owned, like a credit union.
They are every member owns it. That's how they get the.
But on paperwork, if you make it member owned, you have to have a voice, but you can't force one person to speak for everybody. You can take a percentage of your whole group and send them to DC. Nationwide.
I'm not talking about DC. I'm talking about
the
VA national. You're right there. Like you're Carl Hayden. You should have a group of vets that have been elected that run for the state of Arizona, veterans that run to represent local veterans at the local VA.
So
we have a commissioner
review board, but veterans that are reviewing veteran affairs.
Well, for example, guys, at our VA, we have what's called a Veterans Family and Advocacy Council. It's made up of veterans, family members, and staff members of our local VA. And they meet once a month. And this council has comment cards around our VA set up, and veterans can submit comments to the Fayetteville VA in Northwest Arkansas. And that council will then get these comment cards and they can vote on stuff. So if you have a suggestion to make the VA better, saying, hey, why didn't the VA grow food hydroponically? One, you'd be feeding the vets healthy food, and two, you'd be able to have rehab programs right here on the VA property, stuff like that. Then at that meeting monthly, these veterans that show up to this meeting, and anybody that's a veteran, their family member, or staff members that want to go to this meeting can go to this meeting and they'll vote. Everybody that's there votes on it. And there's certain members in this council that are actually on the boards on stuff at our VA. For example, there's one that's on the mental health board. They have a veteran representative representing all veterans. And so, if you're a veteran in Northwest Arkansas and you want your voice heard, then you need to go to the Veterans Family Advocacy Council meeting once a month that we have here. And we're working on
suggestions.
Getting other VAs to set up similar systems so that something like that is in place.
I mean, there's so many different things. I worked for the one of those programs that you talked about, and the thing is that in a local situation, they can do a lot of work, and they do a lot of good. But as far as the national, it's a joke. Okay, you're sending in this monthly, payment to them, and like you said, they're not really in charge. They're there for a term. It's the CEOs and stuff like that. And so, to me, I don't think they should be a representative of veterans anymore. I think they've outlived their use, but it's big money. It's big politics because they can use one of those organizations to get votes. The president goes and speaks at these conventions. It's all about the money.
And then they use that to say, I've got the veterans support because AMVET supports me, or VFW supports me.
Or American Legion, or all of these,
none of them fully represent the totality of what we are as veterans. And, I don't know. Like I said, I think it just goes back to local. Support your local everything. If you want to be in the VFW or American Legion or that, do it at the local level. We did that here in Murfreesboro. We actually founded a VFW from the ground up, 12206. Me and a couple of other veterans, Andrew Farr, Richard Fleek, and a few guys got together and just said, hey, we want a VFW for younger vets that we can bring guys in and girls that kind of are like-minded, don't want to be. I always joked around that a lot of the old VFW halls look like sad strip clubs. And you got any windows, you got like people just sitting there.
I know the fucking. It's like if you just took the visual on this.
Like if you just took the strippers away and left everybody else that's there, that's what the fuck it looks like. So
I had a fucking bar a mile away from me. I can't remember the name of it. It literally was a fucking strip club, and they put a bar in.
VFW would be perfect, dude.
There's no windows in the doors.
Yeah,
it was black as fuck. That's like a VFW or a Legion.
And see,
you walk in and there's no oomph to it.
And if you look at like the era of veterans that we have, I mean, obviously we have a vast variety because we're the longest war in American history. But you see more people wanting to incorporate their families into things and having, like barbecues and, still have a bar and a place you can drink and, cuss and be a Marine or whatever like that. But at the same time, more things outdoors. We just don't want to be sitting inside getting hammered, or at least make the strippers be there if it's going to be sad. Like I guess. No, I'm just kidding.
But hey, they do show up if you pay them. I'm just saying there are services if you need a number. I can help you.
No, I'm good. I'm married. I got 5 kids.
I
got 6 grandkids. What do you got?
Woo, shoot. You've been busy. And your whole family's been busy. If you got 6 grandkids,
baby. That's all you need to know. 6 grandkids. So
yeah, I've got kids young enough to be my grandkids. I've got a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 5, a 4, and a 3-year-old. So
I think we're 15, 26, and 32.
Oh, good. So you're almost done. You're ready to be on full grandparent,
not the grandkids.
I said you're ready to be on full grandpa mode all the time.
I'm GPA. Yeah, I'm GPA. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say let's do our closing comments. If Peggy, why don't you go ahead and start?
Well, first off, Stephen, it's very, very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you, Bradley, for joining us, Corporal Jackson. I'd like to make sure everybody out there remembers sharing is caring.
Awesome. Bradley, any closing thoughts?
Actually, I would like Steven to do his first.
Okay, Stephen, would you have any closing thoughts with joining our show?
Yeah, this has been. Look, I've had such a good time. I really enjoyed it. You guys are wonderful people. I could tell you just got beautiful souls, and you're giving back to our veteran community, man. It means more than what you think it does. There are people hearing you that have maybe not left their room that really need this to help them, get to another day. And really, that's all we're trying to do is, the last thing I just want to tell any veterans out there, if they're listening, is that one, I'm praying that some of this helped you, but also, fuck the Taliban. So live just to say that, like, fuck the enemy. Like every time that we take one of ourselves out, we're telling them that they've won a little bit of this war. And if we've got to live to be 100 just so we can say, fuck you, you didn't get me, then please do that. If that's what it takes to keep on to get you to the next day, then do that, man. But I'm telling you, we all need you. The world is better with you. Don't let anybody convince you that it's not.
You have a purpose.
You do have a purpose. And God bless y'all and Semper Fi. I just thank y'all so much for letting me be here and get that message out.
Fantastic.
Bradley?
Devil Dog. You motivate me, and I'm sitting still, and I want to. I'm gonna get off this. I'm gonna put my fucking laptop away. I'm gonna get on hockey, and I'm gonna kick some ass.
Hell
There
yeah.
you go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Kick ass in
That's
your
good stuff.
fucking name.
That's
right?
Good. And hey, look, I'm telling you, right there in Arizona, go get some tequila corrido.
Burrito.
Seen
Now,
you sip it.
I'm a whiskey man. I'm not quite sure.
So
I'm
listen.
gonna be okay with the tequila. It
No.
makes me angry, and I actually have broken pinkies because of it.
Oh, me too, but not because of that. But I'll tell you. So listen, they've got Añejo and Reposado. I always mess up the names, but Reposado. And buddy, I was not a tequila drinker at all. I also like whiskey, but the Reposado and the Añejo is so smooth and it drinks like a sipping whiskey. And I'm not like they have not paid me a penny. I've not got anything.
Brother, Devil Dog, I will hit you up directly.
They're going to pay me something.
let me finish. Let me finish out this closing statement because Granny is waiting for the wonderful words that I have to say. But I don't think I have anything better to say than anybody else. But I will repeat what everybody else has already said in life and in history. If you need help, reach out.
Mm-hmm.
If you need love, open your arms. If you need compassion, offer somebody the option to hug you. If you need somebody to speak with, open your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing more important than your own life.
Exactly.
There is nothing more important than your life.
Exactly.
I know we have alluded throughout the evening to 22, and which has gone up now. It's over 25 now.
Actually, it's 46.
Oh,
well,
40
and the thing is that I don't mean to interrupt, but Alaska, California, and Texas, they don't report veteran suicides. They lump them in. So when you look at, some of the largest states that we have veterans in, California,
Mm-hmm.
Texas, and Alaska as one of the largest bases, I'm thinking we double that. If you're looking at those three large states, you're looking at 80 veterans a day.
Oh.
And man,
we may be losing 100 a day.
Oh, I think it's more than that because they only count two types of suicide too. That's self-infliction and hanging.
Oh,
drugs or medical. Okay. And Granny, I shared this with you last night in the stream. I'm a diabetic. I got out of the Marine Corps because I got diabetes in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
I
we don't
tried to
talk
kill
about
myself by letting my fucking diabetes go.
Oof.
Do you know how fucking painful it is for your whole fucking body to shut down?
Mm-hmm.
And you're still there. You're still fucking cognizant. You still hear and see everything fucking sucks.
And that's what, we didn't talk about the long game is what I call it. I've talked about alcohol and stuff like that. And obviously there's veterans out there that do have substance abuse problems that I'm not supporting that in any way. But, there's a lot of veterans who, like I say, are playing the long game. They're killing themselves with alcohol and drugs because they can't do it with the self-inflicted, one-time bang. So they're like, you know what? I'm just going to self-medicate myself to death.
Yeah.
And I call it the long game. That's still suicide.
It is honestly the long game.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're still doing it.
You are in pain the whole time.
Yeah. Mike, do you have anything? Last words, my producer?
No, other than I just love Steven.
I love the smoke.
Steven
and I saw the same fucking thing at the same time. My God, it came up. It was like Willie Nelson stepped on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
he just
rock lovers of all ages, Willie Nelson.
Holy Mike, he's like, I have nothing to say when he goes back in the smoke.
What your Wizard of Oz.
I love Steven.
I love Steven. No, man. In all seriousness, though, it's like, I never did active duty myself, but I was telling Corporal Jackson a while ago, the music still speaks to people, I think, because everybody has been going through trauma. I was a military brat before I got in the military. And I know for a fact, all the guys coming home from Vietnam and Korea brought trauma back home to their families, and it just kept going. And so, like I said, man, a lot of that music makes a lot of sense to people that wasn't military either, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I think every generation that has been to war, and there's only been one where there was a break that didn't actually go to a war, has come back with that. And every generation, Steve, Devil Dog. I'm just going to call you fucking Devil Dog. I don't know what to call you, Steven, or whatever. Or just Cock. But every fucking generation has had a sound, as Mike stated, that has assisted them to step out of what they were dealing with. Yours right now is what our generation is utilizing to help them step out. We just need the step stool to get out of the fucking pool type of deal.
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
Right?
I do agree with that.
Your music is that fucking step stool to get out of the
Appreciate
fucking
it,
pool.
I am
right?
so glad.
For me,
I am so glad.
growing up, I grew up with my father, and I'm only in my 40s, but Vietnam was still on everybody's mind,
Mhm.
right? We had left Korea behind, not mentally, but we had left it behind physically. Vietnam was still there. Then Desert Storm. Now, Desert Storm was, oh God, I can't remember the name of the songs, but there were anthems for Desert Storm. But Vietnam, we literally have playlists on YouTube of Vietnam era music.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
you know what? Everything is great.
Everything. Well, and everything will be if we keep on with the mission. I don't think our mission has ended. It's just a different type of mission that we're all on. And that is that we need to have more compassion towards one another in whatever situation that we're going through, because we're all unique individuals. And God has given us each a purpose in life. And sometimes, because of the hardships that we encounter, they can become lost, fuzzy, or just downtrodden to where we just don't feel like we can do anything. And that's when we need to step up for one another and say, hey, I'll hold your arms up. I'll hold your arms up. I'll hold you. You could talk to me. You can cry on me. I'm here. But
Yeah.
I think that tonight's show, this was my new show format. And I think that it was so successful despite the internet crashing on us. But I don't want to get emotional, but Stephen, I know you didn't know me and I did not know you. And yet I saw the opportunity to reach out to you, and you and your wife was gracious enough to reach back out to me. And I am forever grateful that you were able to come on and share your vision of what your life is and what you want for other veterans, and not just veterans, but other people in general in life, to be able to experience life beyond war. Even though we still have our demons that we have to deal with, that you can still have some happy times and share in that together. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Well
I appreciate
said, Granny.
it.
It's been an absolute pleasure to hear you sing, and we got an extra song because of the
I know
technological issues. We got an extra song out of you. Is
That's
it possible? Possibly, can we get one more before the end of the evening? Or are you a little more out tonight?
No, definitely.
That would be awesome.
Your choice of song. I will not go through the discography. I will not pick a song. You do what you want to play.
Yeah, this is a new one. I haven't played this very much, so
well, then I got to record.
You get something new that not a lot of people have heard. This is on the new soundtrack to come out with the movie. We talked Jackson about Corporal Jackson about you're coming to the end of your rope and thinking that it was you were gonna check out. And I think a lot of us have that story. I know I do too. And the weirdest thing is that, I was on the top of my game. I was living my dream. I had songs on the radio. I had hit songs that had been on the radio. I had a tour bus. I'm living in a log cabin out in the woods. Everything that I'd wanted, that I had thought that I'd wanted, I was living. And yet I was sitting in that cabin with a shotgun trying to ride it off this planet. And so I just said, you know what, God, I need to hear you. I need to hear from you, and I really need you to speak to me. And this is it. And so I picked up my Bible and I just opened the Bible to a random page, and it went to the book of Job. And I know that a lot of people have read the book of Job, and I had too, but I never read it like I did that day. And I thought, Job had went through a lot more than I had been through. And my buddy Travis with Heroes Vodka said, man, you got such a connection with that book. I'm surprised you haven't written a song about it. And so I took the time for this movie and everything to finally do it. And so y'all, it's called Job. A lot of people have heard it. So I've read the Bible and I've heard the word. It says he forgives us, but I don't know how that works. We're made in his image. At least that's what it said. So how come I get angry and do things that I regret? So I gotta know, oh Joe, how'd you do it? 'Cause I ain't been through half, but I need forgiveness. See, I'm down to my last fight, and I may lose it all tonight. So I gotta know, Joe, how'd you do it? Just the average sinner, practice what I preach. Still think God hears my prayers, at least partially. I try to live a good life, but this pain gets in my way. Yeah, I've kept my head held high while the rain beat on my face. So I gotta know, Joe, how'd you do it? Yeah, 'cause I Ain't been through hell, but I need forgiveness. You see, I'm down to my last fight. And I may lose it all tonight, but I gotta know, Joe, how'd you do it? Can you hear me from rock bottom if I don't bend a knee? Yeah, Lord, will you help me through it in spite of me? I gotta know, oh, Joe, how'd you do it? 'Cause I ain't been through hell. Lord, I need forgiveness. See, I'm down to my last fight, and I may lose it all tonight.
Thank you.
Simplify.
Thank you, Ross. Simplify, y'all.
All righty, gang. I just have to say, please like and subscribe. You can also please send in jokes, stories. If you want to be a guest, please let us know. I'm always looking for veteran musicians, veteran stories, anything that's positive that we can pass on and make our veteran time together so much better. Always remember, sharing is caring. Love you. Granny Lisa out. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Semper.